This is the most recognizable tribe in Africa. These are the Maasai people, and they are very well known for their very shocking cultural practices. And when I say shocking, I mean they're very shocking to us Westerners, since their traditions are very, very different from anything that we know in Western Europe or the United States. When the Maasai are portrayed in Western media, there's certain aspects of their culture that have that shock value to us that are often overemphasized. Things such as polygamy, circumcision, drinking blood, and the warrior-like lifestyle of the young men. But I believe that while all of this is part of Maasai culture is also so much deeper. Which is why, during my time in Tanzania, I decided to explore Maasai culture further and truly immerse myself in Maasai culture and tradition for 24 hours. If you're new here, hi, my name is Lauda and I've been traveling all over the world for the past few years. I post lots of travel vlogs, hidden gems and travel info on this channel, so make sure that you subscribe if you want more of that. But now that introductions are over, let's get on with the video. Today I'm going to be traveling to Olpopongi Maasai village, which is located right here in Tanzania, a couple of hours north from Arusha. And I'm going to be spending 24 hours there, so I'm going to be spending the night in this Maasai village. I have actually been to Maasai villages before, so my first experience in one of these villages was in Kenya a number of years ago, and it was a life-altering experience. And I also had the chance to visit a Maasai village for a very short period of time on my way to the Ngorongoro crater just a few days ago. Most people who travel to Kenya, to Tanzania, will go on safari, which is great. Safaris are amazing and I highly recommend them. But there is so much culture to see here as well. And I love exploring it. So I've been very, very blessed to be able to learn about some cultures on this trip, like the Maasai, like I said previously, in Ngorongoro, and the Makonde in Mtowambu, and so much more. So I will be taking you with me on this 24-hour adventure in Olpopongi Maasai village. I think that there are so many benefits of cultural immersion and even watching videos like this to try to understand other cultures. I think firstly, it makes us more tolerant and more accepting of others, which is always a good thing in our world. But it also changes our worldview. It makes us view the world differently. And it also makes us view our lives differently. I think for me, one of the most important aspects of cultural immersion is that it shows me that there are other ways to live life beyond what's expected from me. And I think that has great benefits in my own life and for my own well-being. So the ride to Olpopongi Maasai village takes about 2.5 hours from Arusha. And Olpopongi Maasai village is a very special place because it is not your typical Maasai village. There's a small Maasai Museum over there, and this is a place that was built specifically with tourists in mind. It was built for tourists to come and visit and learn about Maasai culture and immerse themselves in it. I also want to take a minute to make a small disclaimer, which is that all of the footage that you see in this video which shows Maasai people was taken and posted with permission. Consent when it comes to photographs and videos is super important to me whenever I go on any kind of cultural tour, and this is no exception. So just so you know, everything was taken and posted with permission, and there was also financial compensation to be able to do this visit and take these images. The first thing that is done in this cultural tour before you even get to the village is go on a bushwalk, which is exactly what it sounds. You get to the surrounding area of Olpopongi and you meet some of the local Maasai men and you walk in the bush in the savannah for 2 or 3 hours. During this time, 2 of the men who were my tour guides for this stay explained to me the different local uses of the local plants that they have and how they survive in nature when they're all out in the bush by themselves. So if you watched my last video about Mtowambu, you know that I find this topic fascinating. I love seeing how humans interact with nature. So if you don't like plants, feel free to skip a couple of minutes ahead.
The one who used to get brushes, we used to brush our
teeth.
And the root of this toothbrush here, if you know that it's gonna rain, and then when it rains, there will be a lot of mosquitoes. Yeah. So you dig the root from this, you take it home. Then after taking it home, you tomorrow morning you boil water. And then when the water gets warm, so you add salt in it to control the hydration. You boil when it is warm, you load it out of the fire. And then after that, you take the root of that, you take the peeling by using your knife, you remove the peeling, And then when you reach this size, like this one you touch, you dip it into the water.
Yes.
And then you take a mixer, you really mix until the water produce something like leather, like the soap.
Yes.
The soap. Then you cool, and then after cooling, you see if you drink. After drinking, be ready for vomiting and diarrhea for 1 hour.
Yeah.
And there will be no malaria.
No malaria. Okay. Yes, once a year. Even if you're not sick, you take it once a year.
Yeah, for protection.
Okay,
so
for protection.
This it can prevent and it can cure malaria.
Oh, okay.
So you can have after getting malaria or before.
Or before you get malaria. Okay.
So you take the root like that and dip it down.
Okay.
Make one side sharp like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then after that, you peel like that.
Yes.
Peel. You peel like that. Yeah. After peeling, so like
like that.
Very hard.
Yeah, and then it's like brush.
Then from there,
yes, you brush. Okay.
This is called Commiphora africana. A very soft acacia. This one.
Yes.
This one, not that one. This one.
Okay.
So now, when the wood from this dries up, that's the one we use for fire making together with the root of willow.
Okay.
But when it also immature, the younger one, the young boys who are taking care of the cattle, they go with no water. So when it is raining, they uproot that, peel, and then chew the root.
Chew the root to get water.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you are in the place, when it is sunny, there is a lot of mosquito. You take a thorn from it, then you pinch.
Yeah.
Come closer. You pinch like that.
Pinch. Oh, and you get like
see
liquid.
Something
Yeah.
coming out? The sap is coming out.
Yes.
So this one here.
Thank you.
This one here.
Yes.
Is our sunscreen.
Okay.
See how it is?
Yes.
Yeah. It is the sunscreen, and it also we use as a mosquito repellent. See how it is?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Another cool aspect about bushwalks is that sometimes you can see a bit of wildlife. So on this day, we saw gazelles and zebras really far away, but there was this really cool moment when we got to see a group of giraffes super close by with Mount Meru behind them, and it was such a beautiful moment. There's just something about seeing animals on foot as opposed to from a jeep while you're on safari that is just so humbling and such a profoundly emotional experience. After the bushwalk, it was time for lunch, which I was so excited for because I was so hungry. And this is not traditional Maasai food. This is local Tanzanian food, which is very, very good. I absolutely love Tanzanian cuisine, and this pilau rice was as delicious as ever. I love pilau rice, and the chapati and vegetables was also so good. And it was after lunch that I had what I think is the most wholesome part of this whole experience, the part of this tour that I truly hold close to my heart and that I'm extremely thankful for. And for that, I have to introduce you to Koko Yai. Koko Yai is 109 years old, and she very kindly invited me into her boma, which is her house, for tea and to chat about our lives and for me to ask her questions about her life as a Maasai woman. One of the reasons I'm so grateful to have met Koko Yai and to have spent some time talking to her and another lady that was also in her house as well is that often in more traditional and conservative societies, it can be very difficult to talk to women as a traveler. So as a female traveler myself, I definitely have it easier than men most of the time, but still it can be difficult to find women in conservative societies to have an open conversation with. And this was one of those rare instances where I got to talk to women, and I was just so grateful for it. I also found it hilarious that the minute I entered her house, the first thing Koko Yai asked me was if I have sex with men I'm not married to, and if I'd go on one-night stands. And that is such a deeply personal question, but I actually loved that she asked that, or something along those lines, because, I mean, firstly, there's something so wholesome about talking about sex with an older lady. Like, as a girl, I don't know, other girls, tell me if you feel this way, but I think there's something so wholesome about talking about sex with a granny. I don't know, I think there's something really special about it, but besides that, I think it gave way to a really honest and open-minded conversation. So I felt more comfortable asking questions that were maybe a bit on the personal side, and I felt like she wasn't going to be offended by it, or, you know, like it was just a very open-minded conversation, and I loved that about our time together. And also, you know, as a tourist, I go into her house and I ask her questions about her life, so why shouldn't she ask me personal questions about my life? One question, like, I know that the Maasai usually have more than, like, the men have more than one wife. Are they the first wives of their husband? Do their husbands have more wives? Like, out of curiosity, is it, if it's okay to ask?
Always.
Yeah.
Many Maasai men have several wives.
Yeah.
You can't find a man with 6 wives, 7 wives, 10 wives, 15 wives, that one man.
Yeah.
Like also, her husband has 8 wives.
8 wives. Wow.
Oh yeah, on the side in the no, Kadaba.
Ada.
Grandmother husband had 14 wives.
14. Yeah. Is there, like, there isn't a limit on how many wives a man can have? He can have as many as he wants? Like cows.
When Simon have many cows,
yeah,
it means that he can't marry many wives because you need to pay dowry cows for the lady, the family of the lady to get a wife. So you need more cows, you can have now many wives.
Yeah.
Few cows, few women.
Yeah. And out of curiosity, I feel like in Europe, the way our culture is, we would get jealous if our husbands had more than one wife. Is that a problem? Like, have they ever felt jealous? Or is that an issue that is common here?
Mendo ni migire rogna mo eniho nanga ni yaraga dige gurere dige bonga yangara dige soda gargara dige yangare dige lewo ngishu ni ro ringara ino ye ni longo abi nanga ni ro ino no mo gingara ni bom anango na nyana borushu bunyi.
She said they like each other.
Yeah.
Because sometimes one of the women pregnant, or she has a little baby, she is out of duties. So the different women helps.
Yeah.
Because the water from this land is problem.
Oh, okay.
So they need to travel to go fetch donkeys.
Yes.
To bring water for a pregnant woman or for the woman with the little baby. Because when she has a new baby, 6 months or 7 months, she is out of duty.
She is out of duty.
So she need help from another wife.
So they help each other all the time.
Exactly.
Oh,
bring
okay.
Firewood.
Yeah.
When she's one of the women even not around, when she travel, go to see her parents.
Yes.
She can't be not around for 1 week. So another woman take care of her children.
Okay.
So they help each other.
Okay.
Marriage is done after circumcision.
Yes. Does circumcision happen when they're younger?
When the girl is 13, 14 years.
And is it still done today? Like, is this something that continues on?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is the Maasai, they don't stop it.
They don't, okay.
Because it's a traditional way.
Yes.
And then it is the movement from girlhood to womanhood.
Okay.
And then from there, she's free to get married.
Yes.
She's free to have a baby. Because before circumcision, a girl is pregnant.
Yes.
It's very shameful to her family.
Okay. It's really shameful, yes.
The whole community.
So it's impossible to marry without circumcision?
No.
Yes.
Someone must, and then they do.
Okay. Well, the tea was delicious. Can you tell them it was very, very good? So how long does it take to build a house?
If
like many women, because they help each other.
Yes.
construct a house like this,
yes,
takes only 1 month.
Only 1 month.
But
okay.
even not many women takes up to 2 months to
Okay,
finish.
okay.
Yes.
Yes. I think it's very impressive that they build all of these houses and that they do all of this work.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then grandmother is a midwife.
Okay, so she's a
helps
midwife.
women to delivering babies.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's very, very interesting and very important work as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So when it comes to circumcision, who does the circumcision on the young girls?
Done by women.
It's done by women as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And for boys, done by men.
And for boys, it's done by men?
Yes,
yes, because the
exactly.
boys also have circumcision. Okay. Okay, and at what age do the boys get circumcised
From the
usually?
mostly from the age of 18 years.
18 years,
Yes.
okay. Okay.
And then from there, married.
And then from there, they're married, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like the boys marry young and the girls as well? Everyone. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it rude of me to ask how old she is?
No problem.
It's no problem?
She's 109.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a lot. She's had a long life. I feel like congratulations, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a very long life. Yeah. So Koko Yai also asked me some questions about my life, and I mean, it wouldn't be fair if the questions only went in one direction. And there was one conversation which I thought was particularly funny, where I told her that I do horse riding as a hobby. So I ride horses, I have since I was a little girl, and I actually own a horse. His name is Indalo, and he's a purebred Andalusian horse. He's the best boy ever, and we do show jumping together. So I showed her some videos of me horse riding. I'll put some on the screen, and her reaction was everything. She was saying that she thought it was such a dangerous sport, she didn't want to ever do it, and I mean, she's not wrong, it's a very dangerous and difficult sport. But yeah, I loved sharing that moment with her. I loved being able to talk to women like her. However, there were some very difficult topics in our conversation as well. The topic of child marriage, forced marriages, the disproportionate amount of labor that women do in Maasai societies compared to the men, and of course the topic of both male and female circumcision. So when it comes to these topics, I definitely find myself in a moral grey area. It would be much easier to avoid conversations like this entirely, but I don't really think we should flee from controversy, particularly in social media. I think people tend to do that a lot, but I really don't want to avoid conversation like these, even though they may be difficult. Personally, I really invite you to be open-minded and to not impose your own cultural beliefs onto other people and other cultures. However, I also think there's a place for respectful criticism. Of course, I have nothing but respect for the Maasai and every other culture I come into contact with. One of the core values of my channel and my social media presence is to promote respect between different cultures and nationalities and to promote open-mindedness. But I also don't believe that just because a culture is indigenous, it is above criticism as long as it's delivered in a respectful way. So, for example, with the topic of circumcision, it is a medically unsafe practice, and I believe it is mutilation, especially in the case of women and girls. I will leave a few links in the description about female circumcision and FGM if you want to go into this further. So, I definitely believe that circumcision is a practice that should not be done, and I don't believe that tradition or culture justifies the mutilation of young girls. However, I also believe that it is not my place to tell the Maasai, including Maasai women, how to live their lives and what traditions they should keep and which ones they shouldn't. I truly believe that I don't have the right to tell anyone how to live their lives, and it is very patronizing and disrespectful in my opinion. This is something that I encounter very, very frequently during my travels, actually. This is definitely not the only time that I felt like this, and it really, really confuses me, to be honest. I do not have the answers here, so feel free to let me know what you think about this in the comments and what you think is the right thing to do. Of course, in a respectful way, please be open-minded and please be respectful. But in some ways, that is the magic of travel and of cultural immersion. It truly forces you to question your beliefs and to think critically about everything that you see and experience, and also to think critically about yourself. So, am I being close-minded? Am I imposing my own cultural beliefs onto others? Am I a bad person for not saying that I think female circumcision is bad? Or would I be a bad person for telling the Maasai what to do? Maybe I'm just ignorant, or maybe I'm not culturally aware enough. Maybe I have stereotypes that I don't even know I have. Maybe I have to challenge that. And am I a hypocrite? Maybe I'm a hypocrite for over-focusing on shocking Maasai traditions like every Western media outlet and YouTube video ever, instead of focusing on everything else that also makes the person Maasai, like I said at the beginning of this video. So yeah, travel and cultural immersion will definitely force you to ask complicated questions and question everything that you think you know. Anyways, I truly do not have the answers to all of these questions. I wish I did, but I don't. So moving on, the next part of the visit, we went to the Maasai Museum part of the village. So this was basically like being back in class. One of my guides was basically like the teacher, and it felt like being back in like high school, but make it fun, you know, like I'm learning about something that I'm actually interested in. And it was so enlightening because he really did talk about a lot of things about Maasai culture and Maasai history that I really did not know and had never heard about. So in this section, there's some more complicated topics, like in this part of the video, but also some less controversial but equally fascinating ones.
Up to 1930. Yeah. This is the time we have British colony.
Yes.
The British want the land the Maasai are using for grazing, for tourism, because it is very rich on natural resources. They wanted to use that. You saw when in Ngorongoro, the Maasai are living there with animals before, even in the Serengeti, before the Maasai are living with those animals there.
Yeah.
So they wanted these places for tourism. And the Maasai said, no, we are not going to give you the place as British, because right away we walked all over Egypt, and then we come to find that this small piece of the land is good for grazing our animals. Yeah. And you guys, you want to take it? No. We are not giving the land to you because we are not sure if we can get another good land like this one for our animals. Then the British told them, I say, okay, we did not come here to fight. If there is no land for us as British, we as British, we are the one who are owning transport. There are trains, no cars. Then you are not going to use my transport. Then the Maasai say, it is better we lose transport and then we save the land for our animals. But when the days are going, when the days are coming, when the Maasai became sick, and together the British brought the doctors to treat them. So later the Maasai had a meeting and said that, these people are not bad for us. Why don't we give them a small piece of the land to carry out the activities? Then we come somewhere here on the map. We decided to cross somewhere here. We come up with something called Maasai Mara. Maasai Mara, this is Maasai boundary, not the boundary of Kenya and Tanzania, no. It was the boundary between the Maasai and the British, the land they were given to use transport. And when the British are given the land now, they told the Maasai that, okay, guys, the Maasai told the British, okay, guys, now we are friends. Why are we going? Let us share transport together. Together. But still, we have other Maasai. They are allowed to travel by using the train, but no road to go to their villages. No road allowed to go. There is no road to go to their villages. That is the time we decided to domesticate what we call donkeys. You know,
Yes.
So we use the donkeys for transport. We don't eat them because we believe that from cows, goat, and sheep, these are the holy animals, 3 of them. Our God, is known as Enkai, show us for food. So that is why in Maasai land we say that we don't have hunting technique. We only have defense technique because we only kill wild animals when they come to attack our cows. You saw the giraffe were feeding with donkey, uses goats and sheep. We have no problem with them because we feel like if it is meat, we have at home. If it is milk, we have. If it is blood, we have. Why are we killing these creatures? So we feel like it is not good. We feel like it is a pity. So that is why I'm saying that in Maasai, we only have defense technique. We only have a problem with those animals who are coming to attack our cows, like lion, hyenas, leopard. But otherwise, these polite animals, we have no problem with them.
Okay.
And we don't eat them because we believe that we are like mistreating them because we already have our animals there. Hunting technique you can learn from Adsabe, Bushmen. They are very good in hunting, but not Maasai. So now, that is how we did at that moment of time.
If you feel like your nationality is Maasai, what do you feel about the government of Kenya and Tanzania kind of regulating life?
We feel like if it's we feel like this is not good, because why are they putting restriction between us and they? We have our country. If those people have problem, they can cross and come here. If you have problem, we can cross and go there. So we feel like
so that boundary you don't really like. We
don't like boundaries.
You don't like the boundaries, no. I feel like that from what I've read is a very European concept, and really the Europeans are the ones.
Concept, and the people are now gaining it, so we have no way to do. But for us, we don't like, and that's why we can cross also with the bush to
Does
bush
do the governments of Kenya and Tanzania allow free movement of Maasai along the border?
If you go governmentically, it's not allowed.
Okay.
Unless you have the passport.
Okay, is it okay, by the way, I'm filming, just so you know? Okay, it's okay.
It is not allowed. But for us, we allow.
You allow.
Maasai,
for us, for you, it's normal.
Like this is not.
Because it's the Maasai land.
We feel like they are mistreating our culture.
And it's also okay for you, like, let's say, to go outside of borders of Maasai land I know the government of Tanzania and Kenya would allow that, but also in Maasai culture, it's okay if you want to sort of leave the borders of your homeland, so to speak, and go somewhere else. Free movement is no borders, free movement. Okay.
And why are we doing like that? We believe that the cows, goat, and sheep is the food of every Maasai who is living under the sun. So we don't want to see these animals are suffering while we have grasses here. And they don't want from Kenya to see the animals of Tanzania suffering while their grass is there. So that's why. We say that this animal, they can help any Maasai. That's why wherever you are, if you find them, you need to treat them, whether you know the owner or not.
So whether they're yours or not, they have to be taken care of. They're sacred animals.
Take care until someone will come, because every cow have a notching mark and a blind mark. So this will tell you whom this cow belongs to. So that's why.
Okay, that's very interesting. So when I was in the Serengeti, my guide told me something that I was very surprised to learn, and is that the Serengeti, I know that historically it is Maasai land, like you just told me, but that you're no longer allowed to live there. So basically, the Maasai were expelled from your own land.
We expelled there because the place is announced as a national park. No human activities allowed there.
But the Serengeti is huge. Like, it's a very huge portion of your land.
We have to be just because all the natural resources the government want to use were plenty there. So we are being told that, guys, move from here. We come to the Ngorongoro. And then once we were there, and then we must say that we are not going to move here anymore. Then what they did, they come up with a conservation area.
Because
in a conservation area, human activities are allowed there, but it is controlled. You are not free to do what you want. This is the one thing of the conservation area.
So that was the government of Tanzania, I guess, many years ago, when the Serengeti was established.
But what happened these years, the Maasai were expelled out.
So what year was this?
They say that the population is growing here, and you are going to exhaust the place. But people are there since the beginning, and the animals are there. People are going to visit, and we are not killing them. So this was, we feel like it was unfair.
It was. I felt so too, just because I was on the other side of the border in Kenya, in the Maasai Mara, and the Maasai are allowed to live there. And the park is great. You know, the park. I've been to both parks, and the Serengeti and the Maasai Mara are very, very similar. They have the same wildlife. Wildlife is great in both places. So
you don't kill them.
I felt it was a bit unfair, especially given how insanely big the Serengeti is.
You know, these people, the government of this country, if they want to do something, they don't look at the effect of people. That you go,
I just felt, and I still feel, like it's possible to have the Serengeti as a national park, a very successful national park, and people live there.
And they have the Ngorongoro as a conservation area, like the way they.
Exactly. I think I definitely think it's possible. It really struck me.
Since the beginning, years and years up, and people are living there with those animals, and the number of animals are growing. It's not decreasing.
Exactly. Also, for hundreds of years, you were there, and the animals are still there.
So that's another. Today.
Yeah.
So we did not know the answer of this, but the government have a very long hand. So whenever they want to do something, they do.
So is this still happening today, that Maasai still get told to go somewhere else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up now we are talking here.
Yeah.
If you want to become a strong warrior in Maasai land, be tolerant during circumcision. We do circumcision at home with no medication.
Okay.
No medication. That is the time you are going to prove that you are the strong warrior.
Yeah, because I imagine it's quite painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very painful.
Yeah, and every man is circumcised.
Every man is circumcised. If you cry, shame on you, shame on your family.
How often does it happen that someone actually cries during a circumcision?
Since I was born.
Yes.
Now I'm 38 years old.
Yes.
I have never seen someone.
You've never seen anyone?
You are given consolation.
So if, for example, your parents tell you you have to marry this girl, you have absolutely no choice in saying no, even if you don't like her.
There's no way.
There's no way. Yeah. You just have to
whether
marry
you
them.
Love her or not, love become later.
Okay.
The bed, how to build it at the bed. Just to put grasses on the ground, and then you see we come up using that one as a pillow.
Oh, so this is a pillow.
Yeah, that is.
Okay. Okay, is it comfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So the nest, we use that as a sieve to sieve local medicine. To sieve
is this?
This is the nest from the weaver bird.
From the weaver bird, yes, because they build a lot. Yeah.
And this is the tobacco box now. This is bamboo. Inside this is the cover from which is made from the skin of the cow. They produce some beads. So you put tobacco. Many Maasai, they don't smoke. Sniff tobacco. Or chew tobacco.
Okay.
And this is the wildebeest tail.
Yes.
Yeah, la cola del gnu. So this one we use to scare away flies.
Yeah.
But we don't kill them. We find the one which is being killed by other animals. Okay. When they eat, the tough will remain. We take that for them. The chief stick, this is the one the chief is given when he not this one. This we use for protection. Okay. This is the one the chief is given when he is appointed to become a chief, because we don't have special clauses to say that this is the chief. No. We don't have a flag to say that this is a chief. No. That is why he is given this stick. And once you are given, you stay with this stick as a sign. Whenever you go to the audience, when you hold the stick like that, they know that we must respect it because this is the chief. This is how women are dressing in the neck, the big neck jewelry, the sauce. This is the one women are using for decoration.
Yes.
There is a book I read a history that when you find a woman wearing one of these, she's the first one. Second, it cannot tell like that. Some other people have 30 wives. The last one going to put those 30 things here? No. Only for decoration, people are using these pearls here. Then this is how women are dressing.
Wow, I don't know about you, but I find all of this fascinating, and the guy did such a good job of explaining everything so well. So I feel like I learned so much during this Maasai lesson and in the Maasai Museum. After the museum, I got to see a lovely sunset, a demonstration of how the Maasai make fire, which is always super cool to see. I really like seeing the process of making fire through friction. And I also got to see how the Maasai throw spears. So the Maasai do spear throwing contests reasonably often, and the goal of the spear throwing contest is not to throw the spear the farthest, but to stick it in the ground. So I actually gave it a try, and I did stick the spear on the ground on the first try, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that. We had a barbecue dinner, which was super, super good. Tanzanian food is always delicious. And we had a few more conversations around the campfire. So conversations around campfires, that has to be one of the best feelings ever, especially out here in the bush where you can hear the sounds of the wild and it's just so wholesome. After that, it was time for me to go to bed, and I actually slept in the village in a traditional Maasai house. So this is one of the houses that is built by the women using mud and donkey dung and ash, and this is what it looked like. So it had this very long entryway, and then you actually got into the room. So in the room there were 2 beds with mosquito nets, there was enough space for 4 people, and there was 1 little table and 1 chair, and they also gave you a towel. So I slept so well in these beds. They were so comfortable. And yeah, not much furniture. There was electricity, there was no water in here. You had to go to the bathroom to get water. And this is what the bathroom looked like. So there are sinks, a mirror, toilets, an outdoor shower, actually 2 outdoor showers, I think. So I honestly thought it was amazing, rudimentary, but very cozy and nice and traditional. Traditional, but you still had some creature comforts. So I'm currently in the Maasai home where I'm going to be sleeping tonight. And I've spent the entire day in Olpopongi Maasai village and I've had the best day. I truly didn't know what to expect when I first came here. I had a little information, but I really didn't know what it was going to be like, if maybe it was going to be a bit too overwhelming, a bit too much activity. But honestly, it was amazing. I had time to rest, I had time to talk, I had time to ask every single question that I wanted. And I think my favorite part of this entire day was talking to the older lady here in the village. Koko Yai, I think was her name. I don't remember exactly, but I'll ask again. And talking to her was such an experience. And also, she talks so honestly and she asks questions without hesitating. Like she asked me about, like my sexual life, for example. And, I wasn't taken aback at all. I answered honestly, and I actually loved discussing these things so honestly with her and comparing experiences and just learning about not just Maasai culture, but learning about her life. I feel like there's something so valuable about that, and learning about older people like that and about other cultures and people who, live with vastly different traditions like that. And I have so much appreciation for the hour that I spent in her home, drinking her delicious tea and just speaking to her and to the other women she was with, all the honesty in the world. And it truly felt magical in the moment, and it's an experience that, I know that I'm going to remember forever. Yes, I'm going to sleep here tonight. It's around 10:30 right now, and, I'll tell you in the morning what it was like sleeping here, but so far I have a great feeling about it. And I'm so glad that I came here and that I did this, because I was so unsure about doing this, but I'm genuinely so glad that I'm here, and I'm so grateful that I'm here. It's morning now, and I had a great night in this little room. So the mattress was super comfortable and it wasn't cold at all, but I do know that it can get cold. Like I was advised to, bring a coat and like an extra jacket in case I needed it, but honestly, it wasn't too warm, it wasn't too cold, it was perfect, super comfortable, and I woke up to the sounds of little birds, so that is amazing. I'll have breakfast in a little while. In the meantime, I've been reading a little bit before I go eat, and after that it's back to Arusha, and honestly I'm so glad that I did this whole experience. So this is the end of my time in Olpopongi. I had a great time here, and like I said, I'm so grateful that I got to have this experience. So if you want to visit Olpopongi and do the same thing I did, I'm going to leave a link to a couple of tours that you can do. So there's an option to do a day tour, and there's an option to do the overnight tour, which is the one that I did and the one that I would recommend. Honestly, I think you get much more time here, and I do think it's the better option of the two, but of course you can choose whatever you're more comfortable with and whatever suits your budget better. I also wanted to let you know that I will be posting an extended version of this video next Thursday, because when I originally edited this video, it ended up being over an hour long, and don't get me wrong, that video is great, the extended version is amazing, but I understand that not everyone wants to see an hour-long travel vlog on YouTube. But in the extended version, I cover so many interesting things about the Maasai that I unfortunately couldn't include in this video. So I talk more about male circumcision and marriage traditions, also about religion, the Maasai sacred mountain, which is Oldonyo Lengai. We also discuss burial rites in Maasai culture, which are very fascinating, and we talk more about different utensils that are used in everyday life in the Maasai tradition. So make sure you subscribe if you want more of that. I really recommend you watch that video when it comes out. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, you comment, and all of that stuff. It really helps me out much more than you think. Thank you all for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed.